Do a massive thank you to our presenting sponsor of this stream, that is BetQL, the #1 app when comparing betting odds and a must-get to beat your sportsbook this football season. Folks, BetQL went 3-0 with their 5-star bets in Week 5 of the NFL season. We're talking +8 for the Texans, win. Packers, -2, win. We're talking about Steelers, -1.5, win. What do you got to do? Just use the discount code CHANTLIONS to get 25% off any of their subscription offerings. You can find the information in the description of this stream of a special offer to get a year off of BetQL. Hey, what's going on, folks? And welcome to One Pride Podcast earlier than every time that I've ever done it. Why, folks? I'm not feeling that great today. I am under the weather, so I kind of wanted to knock this out a little bit earlier, so then I can chill out and relax the rest of the night and get some lovely rest. So, just got to get through this little nasty little thing I got going on, but I got to do OPP no matter what. And that's what we're going to do here. So we're going to talk about our Detroit Lions for a little bit. We got Vash Starwin. What's going on, Vash? The man. Welcome in here, Vash. Appreciate you jumping in. We got Jamie Ward. What's going on, Jamie Ward? We got Andrew Lunsford. Yeah, I'm with you, man. Hopefully I feel better. He says, sorry, can't make it. Got to watch my school volleyball. Hey, no problem, Anthony. Appreciate you jumping in. Anyways, what's up, Alan Dana? One Pride. Just got over the head cold by Fire Walker. Yeah, I know. That's what I'm going through right now. You know how Michigan is, man. The Michigan weather changes. Every time it changes, it screws me up. And that's #facts every single time. And I'm feeling it today. I called in work today, called in work yesterday, because I'm not feeling that good. And it's rough when you feel like this. It's hard to get through a day. So I know it's earlier. I know we generally do it at 6:30. I know you're wondering, why are we doing it at this time? That's the reason why, and I apologize for this occurrence of being at such a different time. And, that's definitely unlike me to do this like this, but at the same time, I do got to feel, I do got to relax. Appreciate you, Steve, jumping in here, man. No problem. What's up, Vash? He says, sounds like a plan. Hey, 100%, man. 100% sounds like a plan. So we're just going to roll with the punches today. We're going to talk about, there's an injury report that came out, and obviously we're going to talk about the return of Taylor Decker. That's some good news for the Detroit Lions. Get some practice in, get some time with the football team, because he has been out of this thing since preseason, and we need to see him play. Obviously with the injuries to our starters like Frank Ragnow, not good. Don't want to see Frank Ragnow out, but that's the case. Lions, South Georgia now. The weather down here is time of year is a pain. I'm morning, hot as can be. Hey, man. Yeah, it's getting bad down. It's starting to get a little cold. What's going on, Matthew? What's up, man? So if you got questions, do the hashtag today. It'll be more of a Q&A. We'll talk, obviously, a little bit of the report. But I'm really happy that Taylor Decker is back in here. Frank Ragnow, not cool that he is out for the year. That really stinks, man. And that hurts us really bad, because we need to have a cohesive offensive line to have sort of any semblance of a decent team. And right now, being 0-5, it's hard. It's absolutely hard. So we're out with our best player on this football team for the rest of the year. So it's good to get Decker back for this upcoming game. Hopefully. It's not 100% sure he's going to be in for this game. I think he's going to be good to go because of the need that we got. Yeah, sorry, man, time of the year. Typing so fast. Hey, I wish I was there where it was, consistently a warm weather. That would be really, really nice for sure. If you got questions, do hashtag Lions or hashtag something so I can see it. Right now, only got 20 in the building. It will slowly get up there. So smash that like button. We already got 2 haters in the building. I appreciate that. To the 2 haters, we all know who you are. I hope Ragnow is extremely fired up and better than ever when he returns. Yes. I hope he's extremely fired up for next year. I am ready for this team to actually play good, and our strength was the offensive line, and we've been savage with injuries, and right now our strength is not what you want it to be, and so it really does suck for sure. I forgot to even put out this stuff out there on all of the platforms really quick. I watch some college. I do. It just depends. I only get 1 day off, and my family does like to hang out with me, and so I try to watch as much as humanly possible when it comes to the college game. And so I do, when I can watch my Oregon Ducks, I watch my Oregon Ducks. When I can watch any other team that I do like I do like watching Army. I do like to watch the Michigan and the Michigan State, so that'll be fun. But I can't do it I can't watch it this weekend because I got to help out some family members. So I do enjoy it for sure. Let me get this sent out to all the platforms really quick. Sorry guys, it's just been a funky day. Funky past 2 days, just not feeling good at all. So I'm a little bit off kilter. My brain is not going 100% like it usually does. I'm not as energetic. It just is what it is. And this head cold is beating me down a little bit, so I'm just trying to send this out to everybody. There we go. All right. You guys are going to get a victory this year, I promise. Man, I hope so, bro. I hope we get a victory. We need it really bad. We need help. We need help to get this one win. Because if we don't get this one win, that is awful. Awful. Vikings fan says, take that L, buddy. I already knew we were going to lose the game. I have predicted we would lose the game, so I took the L a long time ago. I'm a Detroit Lions fan. It's hard to get under the nerves of a Lions fan when you talk about losing because we lose quite a bit. So, that's just kind of the nature of the beast. Coach Campbell gets a pass this year. Let's see how things are after the next 2 drafts. Having to clean up Patricia and Quinn's mess is a huge job, 100%. And I want to keep emphasizing what Fire Walker just said here. And we can criticize him for sure, especially when there's decisions made that doesn't make sense, when it comes to some play calling. But let's be honest here. The reason this team is as bad as it is because the lack of talent. The talent on this football team is subpar. When you have bad talent or you don't have talent the way it should be, you're not going to do well. That is the bottom line, and that's exactly what is taking place right now for our Detroit Lions. Our talent is below average, and you lose a lot of games. What is our first win comes to the Rams? I don't think that's going to happen. It would be nice for sure. Go Navy. Hey man, I always go Army, Vash. So we're gonna have to disagree right there. Go Army. I am a Army guy. I know you're a veteran guy in the Navy. I'm a veteran in the Army. So go Army. And guess what? My troop was called Charlie Troop, the Black Knights. So guess what? The Army Black Knights. You're literally using the same name. So definitely go Army for sure. But yeah, man, like this team this year I give this like a asterisk year, completely asterisk because the lack of talent, the lack of draft picks, the lack of money we're able to do via free agency because of the capital that we had is not good because the last regime gave up a ton of bad contracts. We know the deal. And that's just the way it is. So next year, I'm going to be I'm going to expect more this upcoming year. Was you guys in the playoffs, or I forgot, you guys have been in the playoffs in the past 5 years. We were in the playoffs 2014, 2015, I think was the last time we were in the playoffs, and that was when we lost to the Dallas Cowboys with the pickup no-call flag, or the flag that was picked up. And that was the last time we were in the playoffs. Matt Patricia took over, and this team was 9-7 when he took over. And you know that you've seen the rest. You've seen what this guy did to our football team. It turned it from a moderately good football team to an absolute dumpster fire. So, he says, I'm joshing with you. Hey, go Army, man, go Army. I only thought that we might win our second game versus the Bears. Yeah, my game was. Okay, week 4, I thought, okay, this is the time. If the Detroit Lions are going to win a game, it was week 4. Now I look back, I think there's 3 games that potentially you could win. I'm not saying it's winnable. I'm just saying that's the ones I think they could potentially win. That would be the Chicago Bears on Thanksgiving, the game that I'm going to, just because we got a tough schedule. That may be the easier team we have. We have the Philadelphia Eagles. They're an easier team as well. I'm not saying we're going to win the game. I still probably think they're better than we are. And then the final game of the year, I think that the Green Bay Packers will have locked up the NFC North by then, and hopefully they go ahead and remove a lot of starters, and that could potentially help us out. Now, if you remember, in 2008, the final game for us to go 0-16 was Green Bay. It was at Green Bay. And again, could that be a situation here? Hopefully it's not. I don't wish that upon any man. Any football team, for sure. I'd like the Minnesota Vikings to win more games. I'd like Minnesota to compete with the Green Bay Packers. And same with the Chicago Bears. I'm tired of Green Bay winning everything. But I just think Green Bay is probably going to lock it up. They'll have it locked up by then just because they're the best team right now in the NFC North. I still think y'all can win 4 to 5 games. I don't think that's going to happen, man. I wish it could happen for sure. I definitely wish that would be the case. I don't think that's going to be the case. I think the max right now potentially is 3 wins, and the lowest is 0-17. I still think they win a game. I mean, it's really difficult to go 0-16, 0-17, because regardless, generally a team could have a great game, and a good team could have a bad game, and that resolves in teams that you wouldn't expect to win, and teams you think that would be dominant don't. It's the NFL. It's fairly close when it comes to that. So I still expect the Lions to win a game. I don't want 0-17. I don't care if it removed us from the first pick in the draft. I do not want 0-17. Cannot live a year like that again. But if you got questions, put a hashtag in there. Let me know. We could talk about draft. We could talk about players. We could talk about anything you guys want to talk about. This time is for you. I'm going to go on for about an hour, and when I'm done, I'm going to chill out for the rest of the day. But this time is for you, man. That's why I went a little bit earlier. Should the Lions pick up a quarterback with their first pick in the draft? This is a big question. Now, if you've seen my mock draft, I have Kayvon Thibodeau going to the Detroit Lions. That was my mock draft. There is a difference between what I want and what the Detroit Lions will do. I've always distinguished myself from that. Last year before, I wanted to get Justin Herbert. That's who I coveted. We didn't get Justin Herbert. Who'd we get? We get Jeffrey Okudah. I said the Lions are going to take Jeffrey Okudah, but I wanted Herbert. So there's 2 different situations here. When it comes to the Detroit Lions this year, I'm going in the same category. I would like the Lions to get Malik Willis, the quarterback, okay? Liberty. I just don't think they're probably going to do that. If we're the first pick in the draft, they'll probably go Kayvon Thibodeau. That would be what I would believe. If we're not the first pick in the draft, I feel like Kayvon will be the first pick no matter what, because if you look at Jacksonville, they're 0-5 as well. I don't see them winning a whole lot of games. If they're the first pick in the draft, they don't need a quarterback. They may take Neal, the offensive tackle, or they take Kayvon Thibodeau, align him up with Josh Allen, and have a very good defensive front and become Saxonville again. But that would be the situation there. And if Kayvon Thibodeau is number 1 in the Detroit Lions, they're sitting at 2, they have the situation of Kyle Hamilton, Malik Willis. If they wanted to go Neal, they could. I don't think they're going to go offensive line. And I don't think they're going to go Stingley cornerback. Why? Because we literally, that would be something that we did with the Jeffrey Okudah. Even though I think Stingley's very good. I think he's an absolute beast. But the Lions to go cornerback just would not seem like that's something that they would do. So that leaves them with, again, Kyle Hamilton or Malik Willis if you're sitting there. Do you take the quarterback who could be a dynamic player for the Detroit Lions? Or do you take, and is a question mark, let's say that, he's not a surefire player. I like him a lot, but doesn't mean that he's a surefire player. Or do you take Kyle Hamilton, who we all know is a massive beast? Yes, as a safety, but man, oh man, he would be a staple on that defense. Him and Tracy Walker, it would be a much better duo than him and Harris. So that would be the situation for the Detroit Lions. Any word on Ifutu Melifonwu will return? Thought he did a decent job against Green Bay. Yes, I like Ifutu Melifonwu. I'm really excited to see what he can do. And see, that sucked why he got injured. The 12 snaps he did have, he looked extremely comfortable. He was stride for stride with the wide receiver, and he turned his head a lot. It was really nice to see. I don't know when he's coming back. We haven't heard anything yet. I think if he can come back this year and prove himself to be a player that we can build upon, that would be absolutely fantastic. But unfortunately, I haven't heard the health situation of him. Wish him nothing but the best. Hopefully he can get healthier sooner rather than later. And it's not for the fact that, we need him to win a game. I just want to see if he can prove to be a player that you pick up and is a starter for this football team, a player that's a diamond in the rough because we got him in the 4th round, that would be amazing for the Lions. Because we have a lot of question marks when it comes to this upcoming draft and free agency. And if there is one position that we don't have to fulfill, and that is the cornerback position with a young Ifutu Melifonwu, that can change the trajectory of free agency and the NFL draft. If he can be a guy that comes in and can be a number 2 for the Detroit Lions, that can change a whole lot. That would be amazing. So I love your question, and you bring up a fantastic point about Ifutu Melifonwu. This is the guy. He's the X factor this season for me right now. From what I saw from when he played, I want to see a lot more of him. I want to see more of this guy. And no doubt about it, Ifutu Melifonwu is the X factor this year. I can't wait to see when he gets on the field. Hopefully he can sooner. And we can see if we need to get another player in this upcoming free agency or draft. If he can show out, that would be amazing for the Lions. Yeah, Walker is definitely doing a good job. And you got to understand, he's put in a really bad situation because the secondary right now is atrocious. And you're dealing with Harris in the opposite side, where a team's going to target this guy 24/7 because he's that bad. The cornerbacks right now, we got undrafted free agents in there and Amani Oruwariye. That's not a good situation. So he's looking to be a solid piece for the Lions. Look like we get to go ahead and we can keep him in this secondary going into next year. That's good. Because we need to evaluate every single player on this secondary, because there's going to be players that we will not be able to keep going forward, and there's going to be players that we can keep going forward. And it looks like Tracy Walker is a guy that we can keep going forward, and he's starting to come into his own, and which is really important for the Lions. So I think the young secondary right now has a lot of issues, but Tracy Walker and hopefully Ifutu Melifonwu, and I know a lot of people bust on Amani Oruwariye, but he's not a number one cornerback, and he's being placed in that position right now. That's a bad. That's set up for failure. But there's nothing that we can do because of the situation with the injuries. So I'm not hard on Amani Oruwariye like a lot of people are. He's just set up in a bad situation, and I think putting him in a better situation when we get a better talent. Say we go ahead in free agency and we get a fairly good cornerback, a veteran cornerback, then you can move Amani into a better spot. And same with the rest of the players, and that will help up. What's going on, Smiley De La Rosa? Appreciate you getting in here. Appreciate everybody. Again, if you're just getting in here, I truly do apologize for starting early. I am absolutely not feeling good. I called into work 2 days because I'm sick. I wanted to get this done. I wanted to give you guys your Lions content that you do deserve, and I wanted to fulfill my obligation. So I figured do it a little bit early so that I can rest the rest of the night. So bear with me, folks, and we will get through this for sure. So I'm trying my best. I'm not as animated as I usually am because I'm just not feeling that great. So I'll try to do the best that I can do. Vash Starwin, one of my faves, he says, I want a linebacker, quarterback, and a strong safety first and the second rounds. Rounds 2 through 5, we have a lot of holes and question marks. Yeah, there is a couple of needs that I feel that needs to be addressed very early for the Lions. Safety is absolutely one of them. I think right now that is the number one position we probably got to look towards in the NFL draft. I want safety. And I'm telling you, if they went Kyle Hamilton with that first pick, I'm not going to be upset about it. Y'all know I want the quarterback, but we need a safety extremely, extremely bad. So I totally get it. And I think the secondary would immediately be better with him in there. And our defense would take a big jump forward. Because right now I feel like the defensive line is actually doing decent. Decent given all the injuries that we've had. And the linebackers have stepped up. I mean, they've done a much better job in the last couple weeks than they have. The defense still has a lot of issues. They're right now terrible. Well, that's because of the secondary. And there's some bad play calling going on with prevent defense. But, man, I think if we get safety, if we get a stud, that would be absolutely amazing for the Lions going forward. And so I think safety should be addressed with one of the first 2 picks. With our first pick in whatever we want to do, the late first round pick, or if we go early, if they decide to go Kyle Hamilton, maybe they trade back a couple spots and take him there. I don't know, but I think it needs to be addressed that early for the Lions. And wide receiver is a need. We need to get a wide receiver. I mean, now I think they're going to go in free agency and get one, so we can hold our horses when it comes to the NFL draft. I do think they're going to spend some money. My hunch is they're going to get a guy, and they're going to throw some cash at him for a number 1 guy. So if that's the case, then we may not have to take a wide receiver, by the second round, maybe, because we're going to have 2 third-round picks. Maybe you can take one there. That's a possibility. I like to have a big guy. Like, if you've seen my mock draft, I decided to get London, 6'5". I like that big-bodied separation. I like that big contested guy. We don't have that right now in this football team. And you can tell it's hard to throw the deep pass when you have a Khalif Raymond who's 5'8", instead of having a wide receiver who's 6'5", that Kenny Galladay bodied player for the Lions. So that's kind of what I'm hoping out there. But again, you could get that in the 3rd round if you decide to spend money in free agency. I think defense must be addressed in this draft. Absolutely needs to be addressed. I think we got to get a linebacker fairly early as well. I think by the 2nd round, I'd like to see a linebacker that quick as well. We do got a foundation, but we need to get this defense much improved. Sign Tebow, that's funny. Kayvon Thibodeau, I know he's going to be the number 1 guy. I think that's just the way it's going to be for wherever he goes. He's going to be the first pick in this draft. Let's see here. London calling Detroit. Yeah, Hunter, I'm with you. Hunter, I like London, and I think that he could be a player of the Lions if they wanted to go that route to get him in the 2nd round. So if the Detroit Lions pick first, and right now it's Jacksonville and Detroit, 1 and 2. I do PFN mock simulator. They have the Lions number 1. It's just kind of guesstimating where they think these teams are going to be by the end of the year. If the Lions are the first pick, we get the first pick in the 2nd round, 3rd, and so on. That's massive help for the Detroit Lions. Would you be okay with Jabril Peppers coming to Michigan on a free agent signing? I don't have no problem with getting him in free agency. I still want to draft a safety extremely high, even if we sign one in free agency. Now, this is my personal preference. I was a big fan of Quandre Diggs. I'm a fan of players that hit you hard in the face. I like guys that come up and smack you. They knock you down. I like those type of players. I want to get that type of player in this year's draft. I want to get a difference maker, a werewolf, a guy that's going to rip your face off. And I'm tired of this soft stuff. And I feel like if we're wanting to get a difference maker, it's going to be in the draft. You can get some good players. You can get some quality players in free agency. But you build your team through the draft, and that's where you get your dogs. That's where you get your werewolves. That's where you get your difference makers. So I have no problem. We're going to have a lot of money in free agency, and I don't want them to go hog wild and just sign everybody because I still like the concept of building through the draft. But if you want to get a couple of studs, like a wide receiver, or if you want to get a defensive end, or, a right tackle or something like that. I'm not saying getting a right tackle. I'm just saying if that's the route you want to go where you get a couple of bigger names, give them to a bigger deal, I'm fine with that. But we got to build this team through the draft. That's the correct way to do things, folks. Free agency is a compliment. It's a good compliment. I like compliments. But you build this team through the draft. We find our kicker in next year's draft or somewhere late? I'm all about, right now, we want to see what we got with our kicker right now. He is good to go. He's made 3 field goals. I'm happy for that. But I'm perfectly fine with drafting a kicker. In my mock draft, I took a kicker with the final 7th-round draft pick. It was a late 7th-round draft pick. I have no problem with that. Getting a guy who can get field goals. Yes, they say don't ever draft kickers. That's stupid. Why not? When they make you points, you can win or lose games by field goals. We know this, folks. We've lost 2 games this year by field goals. So I have no problem with them spending a 7th-round draft pick on a field goal. We did that with Martin as the punter. He ended up being a good punter. Now we found Jack Fox, who's the GOAT. What are the odds of finding a Jack Fox out there? It's hard. So if they want to spend a 7th-round draft pick on a kicker, go right ahead, man. York right now is the best guy. He is 100% right now on field goals. He's 100% on extra points. This guy kicked a 56-yarder. That's pretty good. The Detroit Lions need a kicker. If Scipios don't work out, draft him. Make him a Detroit Lion. See. I would love to see the Lions pick up a huge Jordan Davis for defense. The kid is about 340 pounds and can run 12 to 20 miles per hour, that is. That's a big-bodied guy. You need to get big-bodied guys. I have no problem. No problem, man, when it comes to that at all. Look, we need to get I like the physicality of a football team, and on the defensive line, when you can get physical, you can disrupt, and you can stop the run, most importantly. It all starts up front. Now, our defensive line got better this year. It is playing better, and I expect it to continue to be this way as the young guys like Ali McNeil, Levi Onwuzurike start to get more comfortable in the NFL level. And that's a really good thing, but I have no problem drafting linemen at all. I have no problem drafting a guard, defensive line, even though we went there already, an edge. These big guys, you need to have them coming in and out. And right now, when it comes to some of the players we have, injuries has hurt us. Deshaun Hand, been injured. Yeah, I'm tired of the injuries, man. So if they wanted to go in there and they say, we're done with the Deshaun Hand issue, we're going to go ahead and get another guy, go ahead. No problem. No problem. When they went both defensive tackles last year in a row, I did not have a problem with it. Draft the best player available, and yes, if it's a defensive tackle, you can go defensive tackle. I feel like Levi and Aleem, once they get better, they're rookies, and they continue to get better, it's going to be a net positive for this Detroit Lions defensive line. And I always believe in you draft the best player available, regardless of position. And I am not going to push anyone else that way and say, no, we can't draft defensive line, or we can't sign a free agent defensive lineman because we have some already. I don't believe in that philosophy. What's up, Blazed Radio? Make sure you guys go ahead and subscribe to Blazed Radio. This guy is absolutely a good dude. He does content that is is like wrestling video game, and he creates avatars and creates people like myself. He's got my created on there, and it's fun. This guy's got a fantastic voice. He's a smaller channel. He's trying to do NFL Red Zone and stuff like that. I support this man. I would want all my subscribers to support him as well. It's Blazed Radio. Subscribe to his channel. And I'm in there quite a bit. Ask him, man. Every time he goes live, I try to get in there. So if you want a conversation, when he's live, I'm probably in there. And if I'm not, it's probably because something crazy is going on. But I'm in there. Let's see here. And should we use our late first round second to trade up for Malik Willis? I really want Willis to sit behind Goff for 2 years or so. Nick H., I love Malik Willis. He is my favorite quarterback in this year's draft. I think he's going to be a top 5 draft pick when it's all said and done. This is what I do believe. We all know how quarterbacks are coveted in the draft. There's teams that want a quarterback. So if the Lions are wanting to get a Malik Willis, and I'm not saying this is what they're going to do, they're probably going to have to do it with their very first pick. Because I just think there's teams such as the New York Giants, such as the Houston Texans, that are in need of a quarterback. And Malik Willis is the best one. And they're going to be wanting to get it. You got a Washington football team. Does anyone believe they're not going to draft a quarterback? I 100% believe they're drafting a quarterback after this year. So if you want to get a Malik Willis or any Malik Willis fans out there, I think we're going to have to use that very first draft pick on him. Or trade back a couple spots and take that risk. That would be it. If I miss your question, just repost it, folks. I'm not feeling good today. My head is definitely not in the same position it's been. So even though there's less people in the chat right now at 63, I'm just not feeling that great. So it's hard for me to really see it. So also hit that like button, folks. Smash that like button. We got 63 in the building. Let's at least get to 50 likes. I think that would be nice for today. Again, I apologize for the early start. Just not feeling good. I want to relax in my bed after this and get better. I've called in 2 days of work. I don't like calling in, and I don't want to do it tomorrow. So I just want to get better, man. We need certain pieces, absolutely. Do you think Willis will be? I think he will be a top 5 draft pick. Are we getting rid of Goff? No, we're not going to be getting rid of Goff, and it's not for. Whether you like the play or not, I'm not liking his play right now. I think he is not the quarterback of the future. That doesn't mean he's not going to be here because we owe him a lot of money. He will be here this year and next year. Now, the year following that, probably not. But he will be here next year. Just looking at the money, we're not going to take a massive cap hit for sure. Not as many great quarterbacks in this year's draft, and the Steelers are going to need one too. I'm loving some Carson Strong as well as Malik, one of the best. Yeah, Blaze, he is a Steelers fan, so he can tell you his team wants a quarterback as well. And there's teams, we all know this. How many times have you watched the NFL draft and we've seen it? Christian Ponder, Josh Rosen. I mean, we've seen a lot, man. So there's going to be quarterbacks taken in this draft. Is Marvin Mims eligible this year? I'm not 100% sure on that one. I will get back to you. If TA Noble Sports is in here, he can help you out that. Or if not, I will ask him on the back end. Malik Willis, Carson Strong, Jaden Daniels, Desmond Ridder, and Matt Carroll. That's how you're going with your quarterbacks. Desmond Ridder, I think, out of Cincinnati, he could be really good, dual threat guy. If the Lions wanted to take a flyer on him, I had him in my mock draft in the 3rd round. That's just how the PFN mock simulator worked. I'm not saying he's probably a 2nd-round draft pick. I just did it 5 times, and he ended in 3rd round 5 times. I think he'll go before that probably. So I would like him too. If the Lions want to go that route and sit him behind Goff for a year, that would be smart. Let's see here. It's been activated, the active roster from the practice squad. Thoughts? Yeah, I just seen that before I got on. I've been in the bed for a little bit, just kind of trying to get better. But right now we're feeling the heat with all these injuries, and people are going to have to get activated and step up. So if he wants to make a name or a staple for himself as a Detroit Lion like Kadarius Hodge has done, he's going to have to make some noise Sunday against the Cincinnati Bengals. And that's facts. Really quick, let me give you a word from our sponsor, and because they're supporting this stream, and without them, this is probably not going on place. So take a look at one of my favorite websites that I make some money on. Want to take advantage of your sportsbook this season? You'll need to download BetQL, the only app you'll need to make smart bets. As I mentioned at the top of this show, folks, BetQL's best bet algorithm went 13-2 for 5-star bets in week 1 between Thursday through Sunday. What does that mean? That means if you would have bet on those games, you'd have made some money, and some good money. You can find the information in the description and comments of this video to take advantage of BetQL right now. Their best bet computer model scans over 350,000 unique bets per year to give you the best bet recommendation for every game across every major sport, and it gives you the reasoning behind why you need to make some of those bets. Their model covers everything from spreads, overs to unders, player prop bets, everything you need to get your necessary tools in research needs. What if you want to do your own research? That's fine. It gives you the information right then and there. You can find it to make the decision you want to make. And it gives you team lineups, breaking news, injury updates, plus it saves all your picks for your best bets, and it gives you a track of your success and winning streak. Folks, once again, go ahead and enter in the promo code ChatLions at payment to get your 25% off, and you can find the information to get a full year subscription free of BetQL in the description of this video. Yeah, that Trinity Benson trade's not looking good right now. I 100% concur with you. You know, it's not looking good right now, and that's something you don't want to see. You want to see Trinity Benson in there and make some noise. We gave up 2 draft picks for this, guys, and right now the depth at wide receiver is not good, and you would expect a player like him to step up, but he has not stepped up. This is a question. I see TA just came in the building here. Let me see if I can find that question, TA. There was a prospect question, and I am not 100% sure. Let's see if I can find it. Do you think Goff should try gloves like Kurt Warner? I don't know, man. I think if he ain't wearing gloves, he's probably not. He's not wanting to do it. He's not comfortable with it. So maybe not. No, Mims is a sophomore. So the question was asked, TA, you don't have to worry about it. Mims is a sophomore. Is there anyone you would trade on active roster for future draft picks? Yeah, I would trade right now Trey Flowers. And I understand he helped us out last week, but our team's not going to the playoffs this year. Let's get some draft pick. I think that would be one player I would trade away for the Lions. Fiscally, it would help us out. It's not going to kill our cap ramification. I think you can actually get a okay return for him. That would be the player I'd look at to trade. And there's not a whole lot other that you could trade. I'm not trading TJ Hockenson. I'm sorry, folks. I'm going to disagree with Mike Valenti there. And nothing against him, but I just don't believe that trading TJ Hockenson would be smart. And with the injuries right now at the offensive line, the Taylor Decker situation, I'm not trading him because we're just beat up on this off. You got to have somebody there, and I'm not wanting to do it. TA, what's up, my guy, man? Make sure you guys subscribe to Noble Sports, TA Noble Sports. He is the absolute best there with my other guy there, Tom Downey, when it comes to prospects. So subscribe to TA Noble Sports. He knows, like, he is the man of prospects. Yes, Drake London is a guy, Joshua Austin, to watch for the Lions. I had him on my mock draft. Absolutely. That's a guy who it makes sense for the Lions. He is a big body, and it makes perfect sense if that's the route they're going to go. And he seems like a Detroit Lions type of guy, someone that we don't have, and he will be available, I think, in the second round. And the Lions going to have a top second-round draft pick. You know, it'd be 1 or 2 in the second round. So I think that would make sense if they wanted to go that route. You know, because wide receiver is a need. I know a lot of people don't want wide receiver, but come on, man, it is a need. It's absolutely a need. And I want defense too, but, you know, if they're going to take a wide receiver like a Drake London, I'm not going to be complaining about it. Benjamin Foe, says, what's going on? Goff needs to leave his earrings and purse on the sideline. That's funny, Chris. That's funny. He's getting beat up, though, man. He is getting beat up. He was not put in the greatest situation, but he's not the quarterback of the future, in my opinion. Y'all can disagree. There may be some Goff supporters out there, and you guys are definitely can have your opinion on the matter. And if you think he is, that's perfectly fine. I just think that our quarterback is not our team, and it's somewhere in the draft, whether it be this year or next year, our future quarterback. Smash that like button, folks. Right now we got 43 likes. Let's at least get to 50 likes today. That would be amazing for sure. And getting this thing up. Oh, man, I didn't have the app thing up for you guys. There's an app called Lions Nation Unite. Now, it's under lionsnationunite.com. It's created by Herman Moore, a fantastic site. It is also an app that you can put on your cell phone. It's where Detroit Lions fans can get together and talk Detroit Lions football. You can put images at the games. You can do meetups, all sorts of cool stuff. I am on there, and I actually post videos. I try to do it every day. Now, unfortunately, I haven't been feeling good the last 2 days, so I haven't made a video the last 2 days. Once I feel better, I will do that. It's exclusively in Lions Nation Unite. And I talk with everybody on there. Someone DMs me, I get a notification on my cell phone, and we talk football. And if you guys ever want to make content on there, you can do that. So try lionsnationunite.com, download the app, and when you do it, let those folks know. Let Herman Moore know MicroMike sent you that way. That's why I wanted Smith in the draft. Treylon Burks is a beast. Yes, Treylon Burks is an absolute beast of a wide receiver. Now, he could be a game changer. Do I think the Lions go that route? Probably not, because I just think we're going to have the first or the second pick. And Treylon Burks, I don't think is going to he's such a good player. I could have him gone by that second round, or the second first pick in the draft. Goff is scared. He very well could be scared for sure. And this offensive line hasn't done a good enough job in protecting. But he's got to get rid of the football quicker than what he's doing. He has to get rid of the football. He does. And he's got to not play scared, because if you play scared, guess what? You're going to end up the situation like we're in, and it's not a good situation. Effort to get out of Detroit. You think he's losing, that Jared Goff is losing on purpose. That's funny. I don't think that's the case at all. I think as a competitor, you want to win. You want to do everything you can to win. That's just me. And he's getting paid a lot of money, so he best not be throwing those games. That'd be terrible. That'd be just absolutely awful. Folks, if you got questions, do hashtag Lions, hashtag One Pride, do a hashtag Vikings. You may be a Vikings fan. Hashtag Broncos fan. You want to talk? Let's get at it, man. This is your time to shine, and this is your platform. I try to do OPP. No matter what, I try to do OPP every single Thursday. And I've only missed one time since I started it, and that was because I had no power. So even when I'm feeling terrible right now, I got to give you guys the content that you deserve. You're Lions fans. You deserve all the Lions content you want. Let's see. Average NFL release is 2.8 seconds. 2.86. Here's a trade that has been highly debated. I know you don't like the trade, but if the Lions got a first and a third for Decker, let me see, a first and a third for Decker, and Lions went with the safe pick of Evan O'Neal, would you be okay with that? Oh, man. If they felt like Evan Neal is the best pick, I will be uninspired. I'm not going to lie. We've been doing offensive line very early, quite a bit. Taylor Decker, Frank Ragnow, and Penei Sewell. Frank Ragnow looks great. Taylor Decker looks pretty good. But at one point, man, there's some defensive needs we do need. I think would be more than offensive line at this point. And if we trade Taylor Decker right now, we're taking a $28 million cap hit. And we already got a lot of cap up to players that's not even playing right now, whether it be injured or on another football team. And then you're still risking not having, because Frank Ragnow's out for the year. Taylor Decker, has been injured, but he is getting back. Then you're putting Penei Sewell back at the left side. And that, man, that would be, I don't know, man. I would not be for the trade right now because I don't want this offensive line to go decent when Taylor Decker comes back to absolutely garbage, because we're talking about then you're having Penei Sewell left side. You're having you don't have Frank Ragnow. It could be even rougher. And man, it's difficult. It's difficult. If they made the trade, they made the trade. I'd understand it, but it would be hard for me to take it. You know what I'm saying? Losing on purpose, that's hilarious. Mike, very funny. Thanks for the laugh. Yeah, man, we ain't losing on purpose. The reason we're losing is because this team's bad. Jared Goff's not losing on purpose. And it's just the fact that this team's bad. That's why we're losing. I think this whole team has been fighting, and that's a testament to the coaching staff. It's a testament to what they're trying to bring here in Detroit is a team that fights to the end, but we're just not a good football team. We just don't have good players on this team. What's going on, Dolo? Appreciate you getting in here, brother. Appreciate you, man. Do you believe our quarterback coach to develop a young quarterback, Mark Brunell? Yeah, I think it's perfectly fine. He would be fine to develop quarterbacks. Mark Brunell was a pretty good quarterback when he was a pro, and I have no problem with any of our coaches. I think we just have talentless, of all the positions. That's the issue. David Blau, to me, is not a starting quarterback. I seen someone say Cam Newton. We talked about Cam Newton, too. I forgot where the question's at. Maybe I could try to find it here. I talked when he got released, why not bring Cam Newton on board? Why not bring him on board? And I believe in that. I think that could have been an option, but they're wanting to go the young route. They're wanting to go the route that they're going right now. And look, make no mistake about it. Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell coming in this season know this season was a lost cause. Anybody who is unbiased, who looks at the roster and says, "Man, this thing is bad." Okay, I looked at this roster before the season started, and I said, "Woof." I said, "We're talking about here between 5 to 6 wins is the highest I could see this team go." It was a bad roster, and that's just the truth. And so when you have a bad roster, you're not going to win that many football games. So I think they're just wanting to go to the simple. You draft your team. And that's a great philosophy. That's how you win football games. That's how you make your team a good team, is you draft the players. Free agency is a compliment, is a compliment to your team, and you do want to do good in free agency. Like we've seen Glover Quinn, one of the best free agent pickups of all time for the Detroit Lions. I like we got Golden Tate, Nate Burleson. There were some good free agent pickups, but they're not the staple of a team. When you look at a team, you look at the Ndamukong Suhs. That is the staple of a team. You got him in the draft. You look at Matthew Stafford when he was here. Staple of a football team. Calvin Johnson. Staple of a football team. DeAndre Levy. These guys were drafted, right? So you can have your compliments, but you have the draft. And I think they're wanting to go the draft route, which is perfectly, absolutely fine. I agree with that 100%. I've been saying you draft your team. That's the route you go. I concur with that sentiment and concur that's how you build your football team 100%. Again, if I missed your question, folks, I'm seriously, it's not being, I'm ignoring you. I'm not feeling good. My cognitive right now is not as alert as usually I am. And that's the hashtag facts. And I'm just not fully there right now. Hey, Mike, do you think we should bring in Tom Kennedy active to play? Yeah, why not? Why not? Justin, I say why not? If he made this team, he made this roster, then play him. Right now, we got some issues at the wide receiver core. I don't care who's out there. We got to see if these guys can be on this team for the next couple of years. Kardale Hodge, he played. He looks like a diamond in the rough. It looks like this guy could be a Detroit Lion next year. Guy came kind of out of nowhere. So play Tom Kennedy. He's been trying to make this team for years. He made it. Put him out there and see if he could be a future staple for this wide receiver core. If not, great. That's fine. But we need to know this. We need to play our young guys. We need to play these guys. We got a lot of injuries. Let's do it. Mike, do you see the Lions going for some free agent wide receivers there next year, Robinson or Godwin and others? Oh, yes. And I'm going to make this prediction. I've been making this prediction before the offseason. I've been making this prediction for a while. The Detroit Lions will sign a wide receiver to a big contract this offseason. I don't know if he'll generally be considered a number one. I keep saying Gallup. That is a guy who I think the Detroit Lions could target from the Dallas Cowboys. They will sign a wide receiver, and I think it's going to make some bank. Bank on that. That is a prediction I've been predicting, and from what I've seen, we got money. There's wide receivers. It's a need. They're going to sign a wide receiver. Terrell Williams is not the guy. Okay? He is not the guy for the Lions. They're going to sign a wide receiver. Make no mistake about it. They will sign a wide receiver to a big contract. It may not be a guy that would be, I guess, considered as a number one, elite number one, but you know how things work. The Lions may have to overpay some players to come here. And that's the work. View, I don't know. So, yeah. If I miss your question, just put it out there. Again, just repeat it. Let's see. So is this an early show today? Yeah, Corey, I really apologize, guys. Again, I'm not feeling good at all. I called into work 2 days. I'm going to keep repeating it because new people come in. I did this early so I can rest in my bed the rest of the night. I got sick. I've been sick the last couple days. I don't like calling into work. Called in the last 2 days. And it's hard for me to I didn't want to start this at 6:30. I want to be, honestly, I just want to be laying in my bed, but it was coming early or canceling the show, and I don't think it's fair to cancel the show to you guys when I've been telling you I do this on Thursdays. I try my very best to keep my promise, and so again, I apologize for the earliness. I'm really, really sorry about that. No, it's not COVID. No, I got the shot. I'm not got the COVID. No, it's just it's the weather change here in Michigan. It's going from being warm to starting to get into that colder era. And every time that happens, every year, every single time, I get sick. It just is what it is, man. I haven't got my flu shot yet. I'm waiting to get that from work. And so I don't have to worry about that stuff. I got more faith in Campbell than I did Patricia. You have to be in the locker room to know the players hated Patricia. Oh yeah, I 100% with you. I couldn't stand Patricia when he signed him to our head coach. I didn't like it, and I'm telling you right now, Dan Campbell, even though we haven't won a game, is going to be a better coach than Matt Patricia. He cares about this team. He actually does. And appreciate you, Blaze. Appreciate it, man. Appreciate you, Randy. Appreciate it, man. Appreciate guys for all their thoughts on Gruden. He's an idiot, man. I've seen some of the comments there. I think he's, how can you not know this in this day and age? I'm 36 years old. You put stuff on the internet or you do emails and stuff like that. You will, if you put it out there, it can be found out. Especially if you're a high-end person like a John Gruden. There's a lot of people that will try to hack into your stuff or whatever for whatever reason, or when you send that out there, people use that against you. Before I had this job, when I worked at a previous job, when we'd look to hire employees, it's simple. I'm going to look at your social media. So I'd have resumes. These are the final ones. I'm going to go on Facebook. I'm going to go on the application. I want to see if this guy or gal is exactly what is portraying on this resume, or is this guy a moron or an idiot and does stupid things. So you just got to be, and I'm going to tell all the young people that as well. Most of us, probably my age, 36, understand this, but folks, don't put stuff on social media. Don't be doing stuff like that, because employers, they will look at that if you're trying to get a job. I'm telling you that right now. That's what they do, because that's what we did. So just FYI, don't do stupid stuff. One of the hashtag one pride, a team's biggest needs in 2022. Safety is my number one need for the Detroit Lions. It's an absolute need. It's not a want. They need a safety. Harris is not a starting caliber. We need a werewolf. Safety can be that werewolf. That is my number one need. Number two need, linebacker. The Detroit Lions need a linebacker to really get the middle of the field solidified. I feel like they've done some good jobs so far this year. I'm happy with Derek Barnes, and I feel like Alex Anzalone has stepped up a little bit. I'm happy for that, but we still need to get a linebacker. Quarterback is a need, folks. I'm going to put that as a need as well, and probably number three need. We need to get a guy to sit behind Jared Goff to be the heir apparent to him, and really the heir apparent to Matthew Stafford at some point. Now, that's just what I see. Guard is going to be a need. Vati Vaitai has done well, so they may keep him. But they may release him as well just because of his contract. But Jonah Jackson has not been doing good this year. They need to get a guard, and I'm going to put that as a need as well. A backup, I'd say a backup cornerback or a developmental cornerback is a need. Not necessarily a guy who's going to start immediately. We still got to look at Afutu Melifonwu, and they may find a veteran as well. But I think a developmental guy is important for the Detroit Lions. I think we need to get a number 2 tight end. We're talking about 6th round here. I'm not talking about getting a tight end high. Or an undrafted guy, someone that can be a number 2 tight end, because Fells is a veteran. He's probably not going to be here next year. That's kind of what I'd like to see. And obviously, the edge rusher. We need to have an edge rusher. We don't know the future right now with Deshaun Hand. Julian Akwara, he's a hybrid. We don't know how. He hasn't really shown a whole lot to me to warrant it. Romeo was injured. I think a edge rusher, we could go fairly high. Again, if they're the first pick and they want to go Kayvon Thibodeau, I'm not going to complain about it. Even though I want the quarterback, we need that help. We do need it. And Trey Flowers is not going to be here next year. He's not going to be here. MicroMike, would Urban Meyers potentially be a good coach choice for Dan Campbell's praise? Urban Meyer? Oh, man. Look, man, Urban Meyer's looking like a absolute terrible coach. I would not take him at all. This guy's looking like a moron. Anyone that does the finger poke of doom is a no-go in my opinion. There's places that people should not go. And where his fingers went are in one of those spots. And when you do that, you have violated the MicroMike rule, and you're no longer cool to me when you do that. So there's places that I live by, man. And when you do the finger poke of doom, when you say, smell my finger, you some nasty person, bro. That's some nasty stuff. And that alone excludes you from being my head coach. Let's see. Would you be okay with the Lions pushing back the mediocrity at the slot and play Juju to play the slot? If they want to go Juju Smith-Schuster, I understand it. That could be a guy they could get for sure, because we do need help at wide receiver. I know he's got a different type of personality, but we do need help at wide receiver. I have no problem with them going wide receiver in free agency. You're not going to see me complain about it whatsoever. Hashtag Mufasa, love that hashtag. Should we just choose between offense or defense to focus on in free agency? No, I think that there's needs on both. Obviously, the defense needs help. We know this, but you can't just cover one thing. Like, say, if the Detroit Lions decide to draft nothing but defense in the draft. Okay, right now we're slated at 10 picks. Not all 10 players are going to be starters, and they're not going to make the team. Not all of them are going to make the team if you just go all defense here. So I think you got to mix it up, man. You always got to mix it up. And I'm not going to be putting any specific way you go in free agency or the draft. Just get the best players, the best. And if that is defense, okay, cool, go defense in free agency and go defense in the draft. That's how the board fell. That's how free agency fell. That's fine. But I'm not going to hamper on talent. I just want the best talent in this team. And I just think they do go wide receiver in free agency because there's a lot of good wide receivers that's going to hit the market, and that is a massive need for the Detroit Lions. Yeah, I forgot to put that on my needs list when we're just talking. Wide receiver is a massive need as well. He played that two-finger crack. Yeah, absolutely, man. Laughing, man. Finger polka. I don't like it, man. I don't like it. 20 points. He sometimes could get us 20 points. He could. He is a better quarterback than Jared Goff. That's not. Yeah, nobody likes Stinky Pinky. No. I don't like it, man. Who you taking and what with the first two picks? Okay, I did do a mock draft, Dolo. I don't know if you've seen it, but you can check out that mock draft. Did it yesterday. There is two scenarios that I'm going to go with here. Okay, there's two scenarios here. Where are we going to pick and how this board's going to fall? And I'll go over it again here. If the Detroit Lions are the first pick in the draft, what I think they will do is they go Kayvon Thibodeau. Okay. If the Detroit Lions are not the first pick, Jacksonville is. The Detroit Lions are not going to get Kayvon Thibodeau. I think he is the pick for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Then the Detroit Lions will have a situation here. There is a couple players. You got Malik Willis, quarterback out of Liberty. They could go quarterback because that's something they could do. That is a need. If you're a Goff fan or not, folks, quarterback, developmental guy, and the future of the franchise, in my opinion, is a need. I don't probably think they go that way, but that's something that I would like, and that's something they can pick. The offensive lineman, Neal. I don't think they're going to go offensive line. I'm going to just exclude that out of there, even though he's a player there. And Stingley, the cornerback, I think that's going to be excluded. So that leaves you at that choice with Kyle Hamilton and or Malik Willis if you're the second pick in the draft. Both are very good, and one fills a giant need, and the other one fills another need. I think that would be the route if they're the second pick. So the first pick would probably be Kayvon Thibodeau. The second pick, that's what you're looking at. And if the Lions somehow pick fifth, I think Kyle Hamilton would be the pick. We need the safety. Just depends where you're at. And if he's gone, I think you trade back Malik Willis. That's kind of what I see. With the second pick, if the Detroit Lions go Kayvon Thibodeau with the first pick, and the Lions are sitting in the late first round, Jordan Battle, to me, would be a target the Detroit Lions should get. That's the safety. The Lions need a safety, and to me, you have to go safety with one of the. I want a safety, and I want a game changer. I think that Jordan Battle would be the selection there. Now, if Jordan Battle is not gone, you could look at a linebacker or a Drake London wide receiver. I think that's what you're looking at. And but just like I did in my mock draft, I went Thibodeau and Battle. I really could see a situation where that goes. Again, I don't know where we're sitting at the draft. This is week 5. This is week 5. We're talking week 5. So we will have a better understanding when this season's over, and we'll have a very good understanding after free agency, where we can pretty much probably target exactly what the Lions could look at. Pretty good with targeting with the Detroit Lions draft. I've gotten a lot of my draft picks right. Jeffrey Okudah, DeAndre Swift, T.J. Hawkinson, done pretty good. So this year will be much easier than last year. Now, I said my final mock draft last year, I had Penei Sewell going to the Detroit Lions. That was my very final mock draft, and it ended up being the case. But this year will be much easier to determine. That's what I feel. Appreciate you, Justin May the Rapper, for sure. But what I want, y'all know I want Malik Willis. I want the quarterback. That's what I want. Doesn't mean that's what they're going to go, but that's what I want. I've been waiting for a long time for a dynamic quarterback. I've been waiting. We passed it on Justin Herbert. That was a massive mistake. I said it was a mistake then, and it's looking like a terrible mistake. We need to get a dynamic playmaker. That is my opinion. You may have a different opinion, and I 100%, hey, you guys are allowed to have that opinion. And rightfully so. We all, we should never be excluding what somebody else says. You know, my opinion is just as good as your opinion. Your opinion is just good as mine. There's no difference between my opinion and your opinion. We're all Lions fans. I am just a guy who has a YouTube channel. That is the difference between me and you. So you're 100% legitimate, and if you wanted something else, hey, no problem. I like Ritter too. Yes, and that's what Dolo, you've seen my mock draft. You've seen that I picked up Ritter in the 3rd round. Now, he says pass on Hamilton. It's possible for sure. For a safety to go that high is crazy. Yes, he is 250 pounds. With all these picks in the next draft, will having Brad Holmes any chance the Lions mess up this draft? I don't think they're going to mess up this draft at all. I am confident in Brad Holmes' ability to draft. So he did a good draft this last year. Well, we're talking about Penei Sewell. He's not a bust, folks. He's not a bust. I'm not going to say he's a bust at all. I think Levi Onwuzurike will slowly get up there. You know, he was injured in the offseason and in training camp. You've seen he showed a lot better this last game. I love what Aleem McNeil's doing for this football team. Ifutu Melifonwu could be the steal right now. We've seen him in those 12 snaps. He looked really freaking good. I'm excited to see what he can do there. And we haven't, obviously, when it comes to the running game, we haven't seen our 7th-round kicker yet. But, it's a 7th-round kicker. So, pretty happy so far in Derek Barnes. He's going to have ups and he's going to have downs. That's a 4th-round pick. We only had 7th draft picks. We started with 6. It's not a good slate to give. Now you're going to give this guy a ton of capital. We're not going to screw it up. I am convinced we're not going to screw it up. How about you build your roster instead of drafting more quarterbacks? No, I totally get it, but that isn't a quarterback part of the roster? Isn't that a part of the roster? If you look what the Arizona Cardinals did, they drafted Kyler Murray with the 1st pick. Their team was cheeks. It worked out pretty well for them. It is, other teams have did it other ways. If that was the case, then we should have took Aaron Curry instead of Matthew Stafford, right? Everybody wanted Aaron Curry, the linebacker. I wanted Matthew Stafford. I heard chats. Curry, chants when, was it, at that point, Martin Mayhew was speaking at a press conference. Matthew Stafford was the right pick at that time. It was the right pick. So, how about this? You just pick the best player, regardless, right? You pick the best player. I've been saying this for a long time. The best player available. If we would have done this philosophy, we'd have Aaron Donald, we'd have Justin Herbert, we'd have DK Metcalf, we'd have a ton of quality players on this football team if we would have just drafted the best player available. That is a situation I feel that the Detroit Lions have not done in a long time, is just BPA. We haven't done it in a long time, and you should draft BPA. I always believe in this philosophy, even if it's a position of strength. Yes, we Ndamukong Suh when Aaron Donald. But you're telling me that Ebron was better than Aaron Donald, and at that point, Odell Beckham Jr., who I had Odell Beckham Jr. and Aaron Donald much higher than a tight end, Eric Ebron. Even though we had wide receiver, we had Calvin Johnson, and at that point, screw that philosophy. I got to see this. No. Okudah was not the best player available. He was not the best player available at all. If you look at the ranking, at least from mine, the best player, he was the last of the players I wanted the Lions to take. He was not the best player available. He was not the best player available at all. I don't know who suggested that. I had Brown higher than Okudah. I had Isaiah Simmons higher than Okudah, and I most definitely had Justin Herbert higher than Jeffrey Okudah. So The philosophy, Sam, that you're hearing was a philosophy from legacy media in their rankings. No doubt. That was not the best player available on my board. And I can guarantee you ask a lot of these Lions fans out there, he was the last player. In this, I don't know if you're on here on my channel or other YouTube channels, but Okudah was the pick not a lot of people wanted in the Lions community. You ask it, he was probably the last player on everybody's list of players to select. That is 100% facts. Now, he may have been high on the Mel Kiper Juniors, or he may have been high on PFF, but it was not like that here. And for majority of the people here, that was definitely not the case. So no, if you had him as the third highest rated player, I'm sorry, that was not the case for me. That was not the case at all for me. He was not the best player available. That's why I'm subscribed to Mike. Joshua Austin, appreciate you, man. Yeah, but look, you got to do your own investigating, and that's why I love TA Noble Sports. That's why I absolutely love Tom Downey. You have to look at your own. Do not look at the influences. The influences out there, the Mel Kipers and all that. Yeah, they can get stuff right, no doubt, 100%. But they can get stuff wrong. He was on every Legacy Media's big board, Sam. But if you go to content creators on here, how many people had him on the big board? I don't remember anyone having him on the big board locally. You asked TA Noble Sports. He didn't. I didn't. A lot of people on here did not. A lot of subscribers did not. It was not on the big boards here. And that's facts. So if, yes, on the Mel Kipers or the Todd McShays or the PFFs, he could have been there for sure. But I don't go by that. I don't go by that at all. So you go by the best player available. And if you actually do investigative work, do you draft a cornerback with the third pick? How many times has a cornerback been drafted this high? You have to be a Deion Sanders to be drafted this high. And that's facts. Now, he's on our team, and I wish him the best. I have no hate for him. I want him to succeed. No doubt about it. Why? Because he's a Detroit Lion, but he was not the highest on my big board. He was the last of the people on my big board. And I'd rather win offensive line, in all honesty. But I like Derek Brown, and I was high on Justin Herbert. That was my guy. That was my guy. I think I heard he was helping out the Browns some capacity. Bad move unless he's a janitor. We know draft better than those experts. Yeah, man. Sometimes they get it right and sometimes they don't. You do got to give. I think the only other person that I felt that was high on Justin Herbert was actually Mel Kiper Jr. Nobody was talking about him locally. I'm an Oregon Duck fan, so I can see the games. I watched the games, and I seen how well he threw the football. And I'm like, man, this dude is a beast. Like, this dude, I said he had the cannon of Matthew Stafford. He had the running ability of an Aaron Rodgers. And he had the cool, calm collective of Matt Ryan in his prime where he was Matty Ice. And I felt like this dude was a franchise guy. I had him above Tua, and I wanted him in Detroit. And it was a mistake we didn't take him, man. I just thought this guy was this guy is a franchise guy. He was a guy that I thought could make this team much freaking better. And we didn't take him. That was a mistake. Local opinion doesn't determine draft picks. I wouldn't have taken Kuda at 3, but everyone other than tiny content creators determine. They don't determine. Who determines how players get drafted is not the Mel Kipers. It is the big boards of general managers in the scouting department. You'll see teams that will take players you don't expect. Who had Jelani Tavai going in the second round? He was on nobody's big board radar. He wasn't on the Mel Kipers. He wasn't on the Todd McShays. He wasn't on the PFFs. But for whatever freaking reason, he was high on Bob Quinn's big board, and that turned out to be terrible. So all boards are completely different. This team has unit strength, not wide receiver, linebacker, secondary. I can stay in line, and they're all banged up. Get a unit of strength and an identity. I love that unit of strength and identity. And I thought, our offensive line definitely could have been, but we've been hit with injuries. Don Burr, that would have been our strength. But who would have thought that Taylor Decker out for as long as he was? Who would have thought that Frank Ragnow out for the year? I think that, that could have been our strength as a football team, but it's not. And I think, absolutely, I think running game can be an identity for the Detroit Lions. I think we can run the football. It's going to be yet to determine with now Frank Ragnow out for the rest of the year how this occurs because he was a big strength. Small channels and major outlets alike were unanimously low on Herbert. I was not. You could go back to my archives. I was not. I'm a small channel. I only got 16,100 subscribers. No. You can go into my videos. You can go into my history. I made a video specifically about Justin Herbert, how he is a young Matthew Stafford, and he's going to be great. Why do you think I have all these subscribers? Because I was 100% right on him. So no, that's a revisionist history is saying that I was not. That's an absolute lie. You could talk to people that don't even like me as a content creator will tell you, yeah, he was on it, man. Madnessly, a lot of teams passed on Tom Brady. 6th round draft pick, 199 overall, 100%. You'll find that out too, man. Players that just come out of nowhere, undrafted guys too, that come out of nowhere and is a beast. Mike, my question missed it. Let me look you up quick. Sorry I missed it. Appreciate you letting me know. I'm going to look for it really quick. You ever watch the movie Draft Day with Kevin Costner? If so, you like it? I thought that was a really weird movie. It seemed like outlandish. Absolutely. Completely outlandish. Trading to the first pick and then trading back. I thought that was really weird. I like NFL movies. I thought that was a weird one. I guess if I got nothing going on for the day, I would watch it. You were big on Herbert. Absolutely, I was. 100% I was. I talked about him all the time, man. I talked about him over Tua Tagovailoa. It was a constant on this channel and on shows that we had that we talked about. We talked about who the Lions should take, and I said Justin Herbert. Justin Herbert. Yeah, it was corny. It was corny. And I said Derek Brown. I like Derek Brown too. It was weird. Draft day, I did not mind it. Yeah, it's like a definitely not a movie I'd watch at a theater. We'll say I would not be something I'd jump to the theater. I generally like to watch draft stuff right before the draft too, because I get in that draft mood where you want to watch all these draft movies and you want to watch all that stuff. I like watching the Mel Kipers and all that type of stuff. Because you just get ready for the draft. But that was an odd movie. Malik is going 5 for sure. Yes, I've been saying he's going to go top 5 for sure. I think he's a top 5 draft pick. Yeah, it wasn't bad. But it's not something I'd go to the theaters and watch. I scouted Herbert as well. Thought he's a decent quarterback to grab. Yes, you did. Again, subscribe to TA Noble Sports. If you like prospects and you want to know players that are not just first-round picks, but players that may be undrafted, subscribe to TA Noble Sports. He's all about that on his channel. Another Pro Bowl receiver. I would love to get a Pro Bowl receiver. I made a video on Herbert as a prospect. Yep. Folks, I've been on for about an hour and 48 minutes. I am under the weather today. I have not been feeling good the last 2 days. I'm going to call it a day, and I'm going to go lay down in my bed and try to get better. So I apologize for starting early. But before I do that, let me do one final shout out to the sponsor of this video. And because these guys are helping your boy out. Let's do one final shout out to the sponsor of this stream, BetQL, the best freaking way to take advantage and beat your sportsbook this year. And hopefully win you a lot of money. It's all about the money. This app will give you easy to make and its smartest bets you possibly could have. The app is really great. I love it, man. The different models regarding spreads, overs, and unders, player prop bets. It's right there in front of you and give you the best bets of the week. It's easy to use. Everyone knows I'm terrible at tech. Everyone knows I am not the tech guy. And if I can do it, anyone can do it. All you got to do is go ahead and get started in the world of sports betting. Go to Google Play or App Store to download BetQL right now. You have also check out their BetMGM offer in the description in order to receive a free year of BetQL. Once again, go in the description below. The link is chatsports.com. Deposit $10. Bet $10, and you can receive a free year of BetQL within 24 hours of your wager settle. Hey, folks, have yourself a fantastic weekend. I will be back live streaming the Lions versus Cincinnati game on Sunday, and I'll have a video drop tomorrow. I don't know when it's going to be. I'm just hoping I feel a lot better, that I can get a video out to you guys and have a video Saturday for you. But if there is no video tomorrow, it's just because I'm feeling awful, and I'm probably called in another day of work. But have a great one, folks, and I will see you all on Sunday. With that said, like I always say, have a great